Annetta Felix live in Lagos. Welcome to News Now on TV360. We'll begin with the latest on military operation against insecurity in Nigeria's northeast. The army says its troops have killed 10 suspected bandits in Adamawa State. A statement signed by Army spokesman Brigadier General Texas Chuku said the suspects were killed in a clash which lasted for 1 hour in the Numan General area of Adamawa. The statement noted that one of the bandits, Adamu Umar, was captured during the operation. Chuku said Umar had been handed over to the Nigerian police for investigation. To the northwest now, the police have arrested 56 suspects allegedly involved in the killings in Kaduna and Zamfara states. A statement signed by police spokesman Jim Mashood say they arrested a gang that was responsible for the killing of some security personnel in Biningwari 2 months ago. They paraded the suspects before newsmen at Katari Divisional Police Station in Kaduna. Mashood said the criminals were arrested by the Joint Police Special Team deployed by the Inspector General of Police to curb incessant attacks on innocent citizens. The police also revealed that they killed 18 suspected armed bandits in various operations across the two states. The federal government has condemned the assassination of a Nigerian immigration attaché, Habibu Almu, at the Nigerian mission in Khartoum, Sudan. According to a statement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson Tope Elias on Friday, the federal government described the killings as unfortunate. Elias said the mission was working very closely with host authorities in their investigations over the incident. He assured that the government will do everything possible to ensure that those behind the act are made to face the full wrath of the law. Former Governor of Osun State Olagunsoye Oyinlola and co-convener of Coalition for Nigerian Movement CNN has promised that the movement will address the numerous problems of the country. Oyinlola said this in Abuja while announcing the official fusion of CNM into African Democratic Movement ADP. The Coalition for Nigerian Movement was launched in January by former President Olusegun Obasanjo and some politicians. The move will now pursue its political agenda under the ADP. Oyinlola said the fusion of CNM into ADP is to give Nigerians the opportunity and a new platform to salvage the country, which, according to him, is drifting off course.
ADC and other like-minded political parties should join other patriots in democratically building and enthroning a new set of youthful, knowledgeable, and goal-oriented leadership for this country. We believe, therefore, that through right engagements and fundamental reordering of the affairs of our nation, our country will be out of the woods. We are taking on this task not minding the inconveniences and other expected and unexpected consequences of our efforts at reinventing the country. We admit that structural inadequacies and failure of leadership have robbed our country of greatness. We also note that a future of greatness for Nigeria will only be birthed by a new generation of youthful leaders with fresh ideas and knowledge of what it takes to govern a 21st century nation.
The opposition People's Democratic Party has reacted to the merger of the CNM into the ADC. The PDP says it is a welcome development which will present more options for Nigerians to pick the best candidates that will govern them at all levels in 2019. The PDP said the aim of the party is to unseat the All Progressive Congress APC in 2019 and is not ruling out alliances and coalitions with other political parties to achieve its aim.
Any political party that is not aligning with the dysfunctional All Progressives Congress and the incompetence of the Buhari presidency will surely, at the appropriate time, align with the People's Democratic Party to remove the Buhari presidency through the ballot box. That is our take. We welcome as many parties as INEC has registered, but we have also constituted a committee to work, to discuss, to engage, to discuss with the other parties and find a way through which the People's Democratic Party can lead a coalition against the APC and its presidential candidates. And as far as we are concerned, ADC and PDP at some point will work together. We are discussing with parties, and our party, the People's Democratic Party, is open to discussions. You call it alliances, you call it mergers, or whatever. In the course of discussions, since we are open as a reformed, a rebranded, and a repositioned political party, when the parties that we are discussing with bring up their offers or bring up their suggestions, our committee will consider them. And whatever is needful, whatever will take out this government of hunger and starvation, the People's Democratic Party will be guided by wisdom.
Imo State Governor Rochas Okorocha has announced there will be a new World Congress in the state. The governor said this to newsmen shortly after a meeting with Vice President Yemi Osinbajo in Abuja. The governor had met with Vice President alongside other state party leaders over disagreements on the previous primary last week.
There was no Congress at all in Imo State, and it's very clear that even the supporting documents and video shows there's no document. INEC has confirmed no document. Security agencies have confirmed. INEC has confirmed no Congress. Security agencies have confirmed no Congress. The leaders there, the National Congress Secretary has confirmed no Congress. The party chairman has spoken no Congress. And nobody came to the field. The result sheet was missing and was traceable to the National Organizing Secretary's house. And all of a sudden, the chairman of the panel disappeared in his house at about 6 o'clock in the evening on Saturday. So how could there have been Congress? So the matter is being investigated by the security agencies to make sure it fish out.
The spokesman for the Imo APC delegation and a former commissioner for information and strategy, Theodore Ekechi, however, disagreed with the governor. He accused Okorocha of attempting to influence the electoral process.
We just had what I may call a very eventful meeting with the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We are grateful for the opportunity and the privilege of giving him the other side of the story. I think by our presentations, we have successfully deflated all the lies that have been peddled all over the country and within the state. And I think by our presentation today, I think we've been able to make it very clear that Congress actually and really held in Imo State. What did not take place in Imo State last Saturday was simply that we resisted the temptation, the intimidation, the blackmail to write the result of the Congress in the government house Owerri. What did not take place last week was that we said that the old have passed away and the things are going to be done anew in Imo State. In other words, not one man determined the results of the congresses in the 305 wards of the state. By that process alone, by the jubilations you see in Imo State, by the comments on the Facebook, on the social media, the congratulations that APC had been receiving, it is always very clear that the state APC has returned to the owners of the party. That is the people.
The 2018 first ordinary session of the ECOWAS Parliament is underway in the Nigerian capital of Abuja. Top of the Parliament's agenda is Morocco's application to join the Economic Community of West African States. Morocco, a country in North Africa, is seeking accession to ECOWAS, a move that has been opposed by some trade unions in the sub-region. Members of the body's parliament are expected to debate the issue.
Top diplomats and lawmakers from 15 West African states are gathered here in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. They are here under the umbrella of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, to discuss, among other issues, Morocco's application to join the body. And to further push forward its case, the Vice President of the Moroccan Parliament is here to observe proceedings and make a final pitch.
In the global environment of today, regional integration is crucial and fundamental and is an undeniable tool of economic development. All over the world, regions that have the highest rates of integration are the ones that have shown the greatest capacity to adapt and who are experiencing the most sustained growth rates. With a view to deepening regional integration in Africa, Morocco has expressed its desire to join the Economic Community of West African States, where for several years it has had observer status.
This forum is expected to give lawmakers in the sub-region the opportunity to make their own input on the application by Morocco.
Deem it fit under Article 6 and 13 of the ECOWAS Revised Treaty of 1993 to establish the Community Parliament so that our citizens, through you, honorable members, can have a voice in the regional integration agenda. Our model is unique and set the pace among the regional economic community on the continent. You are a symbol and a living example of the ECOWAS of the people. I would also like to stress the need to strive to make our parliament a key institution for monitoring adherence of our member states' commitment in the integration process. For my part, I want to assure you that my team and I and all other ECOWAS institutions stand ready to work simultaneously and closely with the ECOWAS Parliament for fruitful cooperation in the shared interest of our community.
At this moment, it's difficult to tell how the debate in Parliament will go on the issue. But one man who is very upfront about where he stands on the debate is the Speaker of the ECOWAS Parliament, Mustafa Cissé Lo. He briefs reporters on why he feels it is important to allow Morocco join ECOWAS.
Highest authorities of Nigeria, they will be able to tell you why they think they will not sign. And I want to also inform you that every country is sovereign. And when a country is sovereign, they decide when and how they are going to address the issues. But I must also inform you that we are following this issue with keen interest. I believe that Africa should speak with one voice. Of course, before ECOWAS, our forefathers were in the OAU, and the OAU was in existence. If the head of state have seen the need, even though we're in the OAU, to decide to create ECOWAS, it's because they wanted us to be able to have, to be able to speak with one voice. In Europe, in the European Union specifically, you will see that the Europeans are working together in order to dominate the world.
His deputy and the deputy speaker of the Nigerian Parliament is, however, temperate in his response on the issue, insisting that the issue of Morocco's membership has not been decided.
From the founding fathers of ECOWAS, what we are just simply, we've been trying to do in the last 40 years is to see how we integrate the 15 member nations in terms of politics, economy, peace, and confidence building. So the theme has always been, how do we improve our own political environment, economic environment, and make sure we have confidence in ourselves. Like I just said a while ago, they are only observing their observer status.
Whatever the Parliament decides will also depend on what the heads of state of the 15 member countries of ECOWAS eventually decide on the application. At their last summit, they set up a committee of presidents of Togo, Ivory Coast, Ghana, Guinea and Nigeria to thoroughly study the applications of Morocco's accession to the group. The committee is yet to turn in its report.
The Nigerian Senate has filed a notice of appeal and a stay of execution on a High Court judgment nullifying the suspension of a senator, Ovio Omagege. Omagege's suspension was nullified by the Federal High Court in Abuja on Thursday. The court, however, ruled that the Senate had the power to punish its members. The World Health Organization says that with declining numbers and only a handful of confirmed cases reported in recent weeks, the critical phase of Nigeria's largest Lassa fever outbreak is under control. According to a statement issued by WHO's communication officer, Charity Waringon, in Abuja on Friday, continued vigilance is however needed as the country is still Lassa fever endemic. She said that this year, 423 confirmed cases, including 106 deaths, had been reported, but that national case numbers had consistently declined in the past 6 weeks. The spokeswoman said that the numbers had dropped below levels considered to be of national emergency when compared with data from previous outbreaks. The Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, is threatening to go on a strike if a key demand of the striking health workers under the Joint Health Sector Union, JHESU, is met. The JHESU strike, which has been ongoing since April 17, has seen patients stranded at federal health institutions across the country, with state and local government health workers also recently joining the industrial action. The health workers are asking, among other things, to be at par with doctors in terms of salary, which the NMA said is callous and ill-motivated. NMA said on Thursday that acceding to the demand of salary parity with their counterparts in the health union will be against the agreements they had with the federal government, which led to the suspension of their strike action in 2014. You're still watching News Now on TV360. Business News is up next. Do stay with us.
People to get only 10 people to register to vote, 10 new voters. Each of us standing here today, when you get back home, when you get to your place of work, your school, try and get 10 new people that do not have their PPC to register to vote. We're going to take on our website onevoice.ng, onevoice.ng. Please go there, give us the information. If you get 10 people to vote, then you're amongst us.
So at least start with your voter's card and begin to use that to bargain about the type of person you want to see on February 16, 2019 and March 2nd on the ballot paper.
So we want to focus on people who haven't voted before. It's 100,000 people who are looking to pledge that because that gives us a minimum of 1 million new voters.
Instead of to say, my vote no go count now. Try vote first, maybe you see whether it will count, you know.
Welcome to Business News. I am Esther Vese. Now, the Nigerian government says the whistleblower policy, which was instituted to check illicit cash flow, is yielding the desired results. A sum of 7.8 million naira, 300 million naira, and 27,000 pounds are so far proceeds from the policy since its inception in December 2016. Now, this was disclosed by the Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, during a media briefing in Abuja, the capital city. The minister, who was speaking on the state of the nation, says the recovery was generated from 1,231 actual tips and information given from reliable sources. Now, while expressing satisfaction at the positive responses in tax payment, which leaped from 14 million to over 19 million, Adeosun noted that 13.8 billion naira was recovered from tax evasion offenders. The minister, however, assured that over 400 million naira will, in this month, be paid to 14 people who gave specific information on tax evasion from companies who deliberately underpaid their taxes.
Started quite a while ago, and December 2016, And since then, we've had 8,373 communications, of which 1,231 are actually tips. We've done 534 investigations. We've got 10 under prosecution, and we've secured 4 convictions. But and then I think the numbers on what's been recovered so far have been shared: 7.8 billion naira, $378 million, and 27,800 pounds. But more recently, that is this week, because we pay the whistleblowers in batches. And so this month's batch I wanted to speak a little bit about, because for the first time we're paying 439,276,099 naira and 86 kobo to about 14 people who gave us specific tips on tax evasion. And so we were able, because of the specific information they gave us about companies, or companies in this case, who had either deliberately, or in most cases deliberately, as a policy, underpaid their taxes. We were able, with that specific information, to go in to those companies, communicate with them, and we've been able to recover the sum of 13.8 billion as a result of those specific tips. And so we're paying those that set of whistleblowers this month. So that's different for us, because most of the whistleblowers in the past have been about stolen money. With the extension of the voluntary asset and income declaration scheme, of course, and our general narrative about tax, we're getting far more tips from on tax evasion, which of course is a crime against us all. That's just a new trend that we're seeing that we thought was worth bringing to your attention.
Officials of the World Bank are in Nigeria to carry out a comprehensive audit review of various ongoing projects in Nigeria with the aim of ensuring compliance to their original approved objectives. Now, the projects, numbering about 20 and valued about $3.872 billion, were approved between April 2015 and February 2018. Now, members of the delegation held talks with Vice President Yemi Osinbajo and the Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun.
We are here also to support this agenda. It's important that the government keep pushing on reform. In particular, their sustainability of that is very important for keeping the pace to increase growth, inclusive growth going forward.
In other news, a credit rating and research agency, Moody, has projected that the earnings of Nigerian banks in 2018 will decline. In its report, that's the Banking System Outlook Nigeria, which was released on Wednesday, the agency also said operating conditions for the Nigerian banks will improve over the next 12 to 18 months. The report said liquidity risks have been eased, but earnings pressure and loan quality risks still remain. It warns that despite the stabilization in banks, foreign currency funding and liquidity profiles, Moody expects bank earnings to come under pressure. It also projected capital metrics will also decline marginally over the 18 to 12 month outlook period. The equities market closed this week's trading on a bright note, recording 4 consecutive days of losses. Returning to its 41,000 psychological line, the market recorded a 0.26% rise in the all-share index. Now, this week's first bullish run had Seplat, Nestle, Okomu Oil, and Presco leading the pack of 36 advancers. On the flip side, WAPCO, Nigerian Breweries, UAC of Nigeria, and Total led 23 losers. The top traders table was dominated by the financial sector, with Guarantee Trust Bank, Zenith Bank, Sovereign Insurance, and Fidelity Bank taking the lead. Well, in summary, today's tradings closed the week with the overall worth of shares traded coming in at over 25 billion naira in 21,165 deals. Well, that's business news this week. We will be back right after the break. Stay tuned.
Corruption not in my country.
Now, yeah.
Yes, Oga.
Okay.
Why
I go come find 300 naira change.
I better try look for change now. When they do business. Hey, Timmy. Ade, bro. I be. I beg, give me 200 naira. Make I take sort out this guy. Let's see no get change.
Take it, give us.
I said 200.
Give her 100 naira.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree to pay 200.
How much you think they carry people from that place we carry the chair?
Okay.
No, they touch me.
Now 100 naira. He agreed to pay.
Because that was what you said was the fair. Why you not go pay you? Why you they extort your customer? You see this corruption, what would they hear for news? They see for people everywhere. Now be this so. This is corruption, not in our country.
Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
A dam on a Kenyan commercial farm that burst this week, killing at least 44 people, did not have the required permits. This is according to the Water Resources Management Authority, which regulates private dams. 47 people were killed when the dam broke open after weeks of torrential rain. The walls of the reservoir on top of a hill in Nakuru County, 120 miles northwest of Nairobi, gave way late on Wednesday as nearby residents were sitting down to evening meals. Kenya is one of the largest suppliers of cut flowers to Europe, and roses from a 3,500-hectare Solial farm are exported to the Netherlands and Germany, according to Optical Connection, its Netherlands-based handling agent. The World Health Organization says it hopes to deploy an experimental Ebola vaccine to tackle an outbreak in a remote area of Congo to prevent its spreading, particularly to the provincial capital of 1 million people. Congo reported the outbreak on Tuesday with 32 suspected, probable or confirmed cases of the disease since April 4, including 18 deaths. A new suspected case was reported on Friday, and the WHO is moving quickly, having been criticized for bungling its response to a 2014-2016 outbreak that killed over 11,300 people in Guinea, Sierra Leone, and Liberia. The Super Eagles of Nigeria will take on La Liga club Atletico Madrid on May 22 at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital. It is the first time the Spanish team will be visiting the country, and the game will serve as preparation for Genotrua's men as they prepare for next month's World Cup in Russia. The game will be held just 6 days after the Europa League final in Lyon, in which Atletico will be attempting to lift the trophy for the third time against French rivals Olympique de Marseille. Real Madrid coach Zinedine Zidane on Friday sidestepped talk of a bid for the world's most expensive footballer, Neymar. Zidane's squad take on Liverpool in the Champions League final in Kiev on May 26, looking to win the trophy for a third year in a row. Real President Florentino Perez has made no secret of his desire to recruit Neymar, sparking daily rumors of transfer moves for the Brazilian star, who played for Spanish rivals Barcelona from 2013 to 2017 before moving to the French champions PSG. UEFA have opened disciplinary proceedings against Juventus goalkeeper Gigi Buffon following his red card and subsequent outburst against Real Madrid in the Champions League on April 11. Buffon was dismissed for his angry protest, which followed the penalty decision, and bitterly criticized referee Michael Oliver, saying the English official was out of his depth and had a garbage bin instead of a heart. UEFA have charged the goalkeeper with breaching its general principles of conduct, and the case will be judged on May 23rd, I beg your pardon. And that's it now on News Now on TV360. You can watch some of our other programs on our website at www.tv360nigeria.com. Do watch us on Facebook at facebook.com/TV360 online. You can also follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/TV360 Nigeria. Also live on YouTube at youtube.com/TV360 Nigeria. We're also on Google+. Now handle is TV360 Nigeria. Thank you so much for watching. I am Annetta Philip.